The subject of my talk today is bridging the gap between sales, finance, and customer success. And really important to note, SaaSOptics is in the business of with emerging and growth B2B SaaS businesses. We have a subscription management platform that specifically is designed for the needs of these fast-growing, emerging B2B SaaS businesses. So what I'm going to do today is share with you our experience that we've had working with well over 800 B2B SaaS businesses over the last 10 years. Just a little bit of background about our business. Our founders founded the business back in 2009. It was bootstrapped for about 6 years of its existence, and we started funding the business. I was employee 8 in 2016. We have about 80 today, so very, very fast growth. And we're going to go through some of the findings and experience that we have working with folks like you. So I'm going to start off with the subscription revolution. It's certainly here to stay. It's really about a fundamental shift between selling one-time products and monetizing a customer relationship over time. And it really, the requirements now is a 360-degree view of your customers 24/7. And we all go to these conferences and we all know and love these unicorns that we talk about, and we see people on stage talk about how they went from 100 million to 200 million and IPO'd and all this. And I sit in the audience like you, and I think, boy, there are people out there trying to get from 1 to 5 and 5 to 15 and 15 to 30 million, and they're in the grind. And what can we do? Practical advice can we give you to help scale and grow your business? And if you peel back the onion on this particular market, there's about 55 public SaaS businesses. There's another 150 to 200 unicorns that are out there. And that leaves what? About 30,000 B2B SaaS businesses that are emerging in growth that are all under 100 million, which is basically all of them. It's everybody in this particular audience. And what we have done is we've really forgotten about building solutions for this particular part of the market. SaaS businesses like these, the ones that are getting funded, trying to stay funded. We heard from David Apple's talk that most businesses, 46% I think was the number, don't make it to Series A. So what can we do? And a lot of those aren't maybe because they haven't got product market fit, but many of them fail because their business processes aren't built to scale. And we'll be talking more and more about that. But when you're at the seed, Series A, Series B, C, you really are very, very resource constrained. If you look at our own business, and we use our own products, we have one controller that manages everything. No CFO, no other folks in finance. Completely scalable process that we worked on, and we're going to share it with you today. The reality, because they're resource constrained, is they have QuickBooks as a general ledger, and they have a bunch of spreadsheets that manage the customer contract ledgers, the revenue recognition, the deferred revenue waterfall, all the renewals, all the invoice schedules, and it's a mess. And the earlier you can get control of this process, the better. And it's even worse than, I got an example. This is a real customer, $15 million customer. This is their spreadsheet, 119 columns, 941 rows. Does this sound familiar? And it gets worse. Not only do they have spreadsheets that don't scale and that are error prone, we have manual processes that grow up around these spreadsheets, disconnected systems. Salesforce isn't connected to the general ledger or the spreadsheets, and things get out of control, and you have no system of record, and individual organizations start having their source of truth, their spreadsheet that has, quotes, their metrics, and nobody is singing off the same sheet of music. So you can't successfully scale a subscription business with manual processes and spreadsheets. And the earlier you can do this, the better, because you have less customer records, and you actually want to start collecting these SaaS metrics as early as possible, because the key to SaaS metrics is the trends over time. You can't just one day wake up and say, oh, we need to raise some venture capital. I better go plug in some reporting solution to give me my SaaS metrics. It doesn't work that way. So what's important when you're scaling your SaaS business? We all worry about this. First and foremost, don't run out of cash. Have enough cash, know when you're gonna run out of cash, and know what your runway looks like. Keep accurate revenue records. I don't know how many times we have implemented our solution only to restate revenue for our customers time and time again, and it doesn't go up, it usually goes down because you're too aggressive with your revenue recognition methods. SaaS metrics and analytics, again, it's never too early to start collecting these because they do change, the needs change over time, and you want to begin as soon as possible. And then lastly, we're always fundraising. Got to get funded, stay funded, and keep moving on. And these are all requirements for getting funded and staying funded. So what to focus on? The one single thing that we have learned is if you can focus on automating your order to cash process, a lot of these things fall out of that process in a very automated and efficient fashion. Managing GAAP revenue, SaaS metrics and analytics, and a single source of truth that all of your sales, finance, and customer success teams can rally around one set of numbers. So let's see how that works. Order to cash process. At the top here, you have kind of the life cycle of your subscription management, your new business, your upgrades, downgrades, your cancellations, your renewals. All that based upon an automated process that starts with the sales order and runs all the way through order processing, rev rec, billing, accounts receivable, and renewals, and it starts all over again. And along the bottom is the byproduct. If you're doing this automated process correctly, you have a byproduct of all of your SaaS metrics and analytics right at your fingertips, and you don't have to do anything differently. So let's peel back the onion. Automating the order cash process with sales, finance, customer success. It usually starts with, and this is a B2B perspective, so bear with us. It typically starts with a closed won opportunity or an order in Salesforce or your CRM. That drives into the finance system, subscription management platform, all of the appropriate information about your customer, your subscription contract, recognizes revenue, invoice schedules are created and invoices are sent, and you manage collections in the renewal process. And then you can write back to your CRM all of that important information so all of your sales folks are kept in sync in terms of the customer financial records. And then your success team, again, all the same financial records are kept in sync with the customer success team, and renewal opportunities are automatically created based upon the renewal time frame. Managing GAAP revenues happens automatically. There's no spreadsheet involved. The revenue is recognized, deferred revenue waterfall is calculated as invoices go out, supporting fair value and ASC 606 guidelines, managing accrued revenue, and all the revenue reporting and forecasting, it comes out of that process. SaaS metrics and analytics, very important to have a single sheet of music for this. So from a finance standpoint, having that single source of truth for ARR, MRR, new expansion, contraction revenue, lost revenue, all your customer counts, your churn, retention, both dollar and revenue side of churn, cohort analysis, being able to look at multidimensional views of your customer base or products, and looking at cash projections, again, not running out of cash, knowing what your future billings look like so you can manage your cash better, and then the ever important renewals. Again, writing this information back at the account record level within your CRM, having all of this information available for your sales team. You can even do important things like cohorts by sales rep. You might have a sales rep that's 150 to 200% of quota, but what happens if that sales rep churns the most business? That's a horse of a different color. You can get at that information. And the same holds true on the customer success side. All of this information, invoice status, you can look at segmenting your customers by ARR amount so that you can focus on the right renewals at the right time. You can even do cohorts by your implementation rep. A lot of data says that Customers that don't get implemented on time or improperly are the first to churn. So perhaps you have implementation reps that are better than others that don't churn as much. And then at the end of the day, you have a single source of truth by integration with all these other systems. You have a single source of truth that everybody in your organization is singing off the same sheet of music. So, when you automate order to cash, you eliminate all of your error-prone spreadsheets, you eliminate these manual processes, you integrate CRM with your general ledger into a single source of truth, and you increase cash flow, some by up to 50%. When we implemented our own solution ourselves, we did just that. And deliver consistent SaaS metrics, again, across the organization. One set of metrics, not stovepipe different versions of the truth. And finally, you can get funded and stay funded.